Hello everyone, it's Ange de Lumière here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a spiritual lawyer and an intuitive business strategist, and I love to help female entrepreneurs manifest success in a way that feels easy, stress free and fulfilling. And I teach about the law of attraction and intuition along the way. So today I'm starting something I've never done before, and that has been inspired a couple of weeks ago, actually only a week ago, called 30 Days in the Vortex. And what this means is that for the whole of January, well, we're the 1st of January until the 30th, I will be posting every day how to stay in the vortex. But I need to start first to explain to you what the vortex is. I keep on thinking I haven't wished you a happy new year, so let's do that now. Let's get it out of the way, because that's the first thing I wanted to say and I forgot. So happy new year, everyone. I wish you the most wonderful year of growth, of happiness and fulfillment. This is going to be a really good year. And you can make it whatever you want it to make it. So that's the beauty of it. It's like every day is a new day and you can start afresh, and every year is a new year and you can start afresh. And I hope you have done a review of 2019 and with the eyes of love, so that you've looked at everything that you've achieved rather than the things that you haven't. So let's get back to business now. Let's talk about the vortex. So the vortex, if you're familiar with Abraham Hicks' teachings, the vortex is what they talk about all the time, what they suggest that you get into to manifest all of your dreams. And I will define it as the holding place of all the wishes and desires that you have made as life served you contrast. So Abraham Hicks also talks a lot about contrast and says that the world is full of contrasts, things that we like and things that we don't like, and that contrast is incredibly important to help you to know what you want. If everything was of the same flavor, if everything was supposedly good, I don't believe in good and bad, but let's suppose that we could talk about good. So if everything was pleasant and everything was good, you wouldn't even appreciate what you have. So the contrast is here to make you appreciate, and also but for you to exercise your will, for you to exercise your power of decision. And basically how it works is you look at what's around you and you say, I like that, I don't like that, I like that, I don't like that, I like that, I don't like that. And you keep on making choices about what you like, and it evolves. As you evolve, what you like, what you want changes. So, for example, if you were born in a family where your parents, and we all have faults, okay, so no one's perfect, but if there was a particular trait in your parents that you didn't like at all, didn't want to, I suppose, express as a parent, then that contrast served you, because if you manage to go beyond the contrast, and if you manage to go into real choice rather than the reaction, then you'll be able to do something in contrast to what your parents did. And I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to explain it in different words than we normally do. Because Abraham's teachings are very different, and this is what I teach that as well, and I love it. I love to look at things from the eyes of source, in a way, if that makes any sense. So I talk about source because although I believe in God, I'm not religious, so I don't want to bring into the conversation a whole lot of subjects, and because the subject is loaded for a lot of people. So the vortex holds all of your desires, everything that you've asked for, and it has a lot of momentum. That means that there's a lot of things that want to come into your life. And the problem is that how do you bring what's in your vortex into real life? And because it holds everything that you want energetically. So how do you bring things into your life? It's by spending time in your vortex. It's by being happy before what you want comes to you. And that's incredibly important, and that's something that we're going to explore in the next 30 days. That's why I called it the 30 days in the Vortex, is that this is a way that you can manifest absolutely anything that you want. But there's lots of little tips and tweaks and tricks. Well, it's not really a trick, but things that you need to understand about manifesting, so that it can that you're not an obstacle to your own desires, because we are the most prominent obstacle to our desires. First, if we don't believe in our desires, then it's very hard for them to happen. We can be an obstacle because we get frustrated that it's not here already. We can be our own obstacle because we wait to be happy until we have what we want, whereas it's the other way around. We need to be happy first, and then everything that we want comes to us. So there's all these components, all these elements that I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to do videos every day. I'll do them when I feel inspired, because that's how I work. But I will be posting every day, and I really want to invite you to comment under the post or the videos every day, and I will pick one person. I'll put every person that comments under my post in the 30 days will be entered in a spreadsheet, and at the end of the 30 days I will pick one person and I will draw a winner. And I don't know yet what I will give away, so it's going to be a bit of a surprise. So the task for today is to make a list of all the things that life has caused you to desire that have actually happened. Because we tend to forget, what have you manifested in 2019? Have you made a list yet? I made a list a couple of days ago. Let me just check where it is. Here we go. I manifested a new car. I manifested an evening with Holly Holden, and if you don't know who she is, she's the author of an amazing poem about loving yourself, and she gave me permission to use her poem in my book, which is just like so amazing. I manifested a VIP. I manifested what I call a Google client, which is someone who contacted me after finding me on by doing a search on Google about business Akashic records. I manifested £4,000 from like unexpected money that I didn't have to work for. I manifested a tenant. I manifested time to go for a spa on my birthday, which was almost impossible at the time to think about. And what this gives you an idea, okay? And I manifested a trip to go and see my son at uni. This is just part of the things that I wrote on my list. So this is your job today. I want you to write that list so that you actually reflect back, because when we have a desire and it happens, we sometimes forget what it felt like before we had the thing that we wanted, and we forget that we have the power to manifest it. We are incredible manifestors, but as you will have probably heard, most of us manifest unconsciously, which means that we often manifest what we don't want. And I have manifested those as well. Some really, really horrible experiences because I worried about it and I was fearful about it, and then they happened. And I do actually acknowledge now that I had my part in play in these horrible events. So this is what you're going to do. If you feel comfortable sharing one thing that you manifested this year under this video, please do it, and this way I can enter your name in a draw. I will be I need to be able to have your email address to email you if you are the winner of the prize. So I'm gonna have to think about a way that I can do this. Maybe I'll have you sign up for a newsletter or something like that. I don't know at this stage. I haven't thought things through completely. But for now, just do it for the mere pleasure of participating, and we'll work things along the way. So you have that list to make, and what was I going to say? I'm going to finish by explaining to you the 5 steps of manifesting, which you may or may not know, because I'm not sure if everybody on this page is aware of the Abraham's teachings. The first step is to ask for what you want, and you don't even have to voice it. You ask for what you want by reacting to what's happening around you. So suppose you were in a relationship, you were dating someone, and they were always late for your dates. Inside of you, if you feel irritated by that, some people don't, but it's quite rare. Let's face it. It's quite annoying if people are always late. Then you would have a desire to be with someone who's on time, and that's the asking. You don't have to say, "Universe, send me someone he's not late for dates." You just ask because it's within you. You're like, "Oh my God, I wish I was dating someone who's always on time." The second step is to receive, and it's not your job. The moment you ask, it is given. Okay, so what happens is the universe starts to put together the way that you're going to receive what you want. So to continue with the example of the boyfriend who's always late, they would start to organize, the universe will start to organize for you to meet another person, or maybe the same person that's going to change their behavior. And so they might have to go through a situation where perhaps they lose an opportunity by being late, and then it wakes them up, it gives them a wake-up call. And but the thing is, and this is when we go to number 3, step number 3 is to allow for your desires to come into your life. And it can only happen if you let go of what you have to receive what you wish. So suppose that you were the kind of person that's finding really, really difficult to let go of that boyfriend that's always late because you're afraid you're not going to find someone better. Then you don't allow the new person to come in. Or maybe you're too clingy and that boyfriend gets more and more late because of your behavior. So your job in step number 3 is to stop being an obstacle to what you want, and to allow what you want to unfold. And that often means letting go of a lot of fear, letting go of a lot of doubt, letting go of a lot of negative feelings, like lack of self-worth, all that sort of thing. Step number 4 is when you've been through step 1, 2, 3 so much that you start to master the whole process, and you're almost always on step number 3. So you start receiving stuff, and you everything you wish starts to come into your life in an easy way. And I love when this happens, because it's like you get out of your house and everything flows. You go on an errand, maybe you have a car, you find the perfect parking space, and then you get to the shop and people smile at you, and the attendant in the shop is very, very helpful, finds what you want almost immediately, all that sort of thing. That's when you know you're in stage 3. And it's not the pleasure doesn't actually come from the manifestation, it comes from that ease, that flow, the synchronicities, the fact that you meet the perfect person at the perfect time. And this happened to me actually when I published my first book, The Journey of the Slim Soul. Once I accepted to write the book, and I have a separate page now about this this book and the slimming stuff. So if you haven't liked it yet, it's called The Slim Soul Collective. And if you're interested in slimming without dieting, scales or strenuous exercise, I invite you to follow that other page. So when I published this first book, what happened is within days of actually starting to write the book, the perfect editors, I had 2 editors, 2 ladies who came to help me edit my English, because I'm not a native speaker, and even if I was, every book needs to be edited because you can't see your own mistakes because you've been writing for so long, and you can't see, you don't have a fresh pair of eyes. But anyway, so the editors came out of the woodwork from nowhere. I met very shortly after that someone who had already published a book, so she introduced me to her graphic designer, and she gave me the information about where she had it printed. because I printed it as a paperback, and then I sold it in person in fairs and stuff like that. So all the cooperative components, the universe literally sent me everything that I needed to publish this book in a record time. It was incredible. I had never published a book before, and then all of this happened within weeks. So that's step 3. But if it happens on a regular basis and you're in the flow and everything, it's just so wonderful. So this is what I want to help you to achieve. And I'm going to walk the talk, because I always walk the talk. So this is what I want to do for myself, in the hope that I can inspire everyone else to do it. And I'll share the hiccups that happen along the way, because there's always good days and bad days. Not that I think of days as good or bad, but there's days you'll be more in the vortex and days you'll be less in the vortex. At the end of the day, though, I want you to know that being in the vortex is a decision. It's a decision that will take discipline and practice, because you'll have to start become aware of your thoughts and to start changing your thoughts. And your thoughts carry emotions, so there's a whole thing that you need to shift, and it takes practice. Don't be mad at yourself if you still go back into your old ways of thinking or negative thinking. It still happens to me. Only 2 days ago, something happened in my life, and I tipped over to the negativity cycle of thinking. And it took me a good day and a half to get back into my good space and into the vortex. So when you fall out of the vortex, it's actually a good practice to know what is happening, clear whatever that's you've been thinking. And I'm also going to talk about the practice of Ho'oponopono, because I've been doing a training recently in that practice, and I absolutely love it. It's incredibly powerful. So this concludes day 1 of 30 Days in the Vortex. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you watch the replay, please post underneath #replay and share with me. Today the task is to share one thing you've manifested in 2019 that has made you happy. Thank you, and bye for now.